Just have to sort out my screen. Hello, my friends. Hiya, how are you doing? Way, it's good to see you. Back once again for another block rocking episode of Technical Analysis with me, your friend, Rocky Outcrop. We're going to be looking at AMC, GME, cryptocurrencies, I guess, whatever people suggest. Not really sure if I'll take a look at cryptocurrencies in a hurry today or not. The videos just don't get any attention on the tube. Right. Right. Way. Good morning, Ronaldo, says Katie Babes. Hello to both of you. Good morning, Katie of Charka. Hey. Good to see. Whoa, Katie, you just got done by Streamlabs. I wonder what you were saying. Probably nice stuff. Hello, my lords, my ladies, my lassies, my ladies, my laddies. I hope you're well. Don't know why Streamlabs did you for that, but hey. Good to see you, bud. Good to see you, Kim Robbins, Matt, Rob Davis, Jaguar, Brian Mullen, Stephen Kimbler, Michael E, Coven Keeper, Super Cashy, Dead Money All Stars, Guitar Outside, Finesse Finance, Rob Davis, Hutch, Frost Crest, and JT 858, Space Banana, Sal, Vivenna, Stephen Kimbler, Joe Maxwell, and all y'all, Cameron, Tolly West. Everybody, welcome to the show. Good to see you indeed. Well, it's just me this morning. It's just me. And we're going to be taking a look at the charts over here. Alright, this thing. Whoops. Oh, by the way, I never really talk about this much, but it's up on my screen at the minute. If you want to get a free stock and you're in the UK, you can use my link in the description for that. Get that off the screen. Yeah, it's just tweeting back to somebody. Right, cool. Good to see you, Sasha. Hope you're well. Hiya. Good to see you, Shane McGovern. Good to see you, Kim Robbins and Duro and all y'all. Streamlabs hates me. Yeah. Mining Boom. Hello. Great. So, the story yesterday with GME was actually all right. Yeah, it was all right. It's pretty good. The episode we put out yesterday, Jamie and I, was a whole lot of fun. And we were just super positive during it, and it was a good fun to make. And it's true, the information in there is also really good information. And we're hoping to see things properly turn around. The situation as it stands just now with regards to GME, the way that, of course, by just now, what I mean is the way the market's closed. Does this fit on the screen all right, actually? Doesn't fit on the best. Hold on a second. So GME on the left-hand side of your screen here. The way that it ended up yesterday is that there was that nice rise up towards the end of the day, and that put us just slightly higher than this previous high area over here. just here, but it didn't actually take us higher than this one over here, which is what we would have preferred to have seen, and we're looking for that at some point on some 15-minute candle this morning. That would be cool to see. Extended hours, what are they looking at look like? Making it look like I should just turn the button off again because it's not showing me much info. Don't know if my trading view's set up wrong or something at the minute. Anywho, and over here on AMC, yeah, hardly setting the header alight, finishing off there at $36, 35.99. Pre-market pricing I can see is up there at 37.91, 173 pre-market on GME. Will we see a gap? Probably fill it and everything. So that'll be exciting times when that starts. Dude, I'm like number 69, says Advancing Ape. Hey. Way, thanks so much for joining up there, Ixtapalapaquetel. Let me just check my volumes up. Right, I've got some volume. So I didn't hear that alert coming in, but way, thanks, man. That's quality. I wonder how I should say your name. Going to have to come up with a nickname for you. Ixta. Or something like that. Right, yeah. Brilliant. So, so I wonder how you are all getting on, really, and what you would like to look at today. I figured if I was going to make clips, that what I would do is I would make them and do little kind of notes on the charts and whatnot before making the clip, and do it that way. I don't know what I'll do. But yeah, I could make a pre-market clip. Tell everybody, hey, this is what you want to see right now. I could do that right here, right now. I don't know. I should probably just do that with the audience here. I'll do that with you guys anyway. And if I want to make it into a clip, I can make it into a clip. Probably not bother. Yeah, how am I going to show this picture? Want to see it sort of. Want to see this. Want to show this. That's the wrong one for it. X. Cool. X. Cheers, X. Charts are well placed and all visible. You're clear and loud. All 100%. Woo! Excellent. Thanks so much. That's reassuring. That's actually really is properly reassuring. Thanks, mate. What am I trying to show here? I want to show the relationship between these previous highs. Whereas the 15-minute time frame just looks too far back, though, in terms of the high. Well, no, it doesn't. In terms of that, that's actually an interesting point. Maybe I should pay attention to it. I probably should pay attention to it. In fact, yeah, right. I'm not going to bother making an episode, but if I did, this is a separate episode. I'd kind of go along. Oh no, I should. Let's just mark stuff off. Put in a wee sort of line here, and put writing on it. There you go. Let's make this a bit bigger. Those would be the general points that I'd be trying to make, essentially. What else could I put on here for just now's general points? Okay, so that would be my episode, right? So this is what I would do if I was going to do one, but I don't think I can. I don't think I can really be bothered, to be perfectly frank, because it's the weekend, almost, stuff like that. Why is this my thing gone all wrong looking? So basically, I'll just catch up with the chat as well. This is cool because it gives us time to do everything. Shared. Ooh, people have shared stuff. Okay, thanks, says Stephen Kimbler. Ooh, just use the share option right here in the live stream. That's cool that people are doing that. That's so awesome. Thanks so much for that. That's bloody brilliant. If you could hit the like button too and everything, that'd be cool. Cheers to that other project you mentioned this morning, mate. Cool. Nice one. Cheers, Daniel Groves. What's going on here? Hi, Rocky. I really appreciate the fiver, by the way, matey. Hi, Rocky. Really loved the vid yesterday with you and Jamie. So much positive energy. You two work really well together. Wow, awesome. Way. Have you considered some basic TA for videos for members only? It seems like a good way to grow your membership. Maybe that's something that I should do as well, Rob Davis. That's a good idea. I don't really think too much about growing the membership because it's just because it's people just being generous to me, and I really appreciate it, and that's great. And what happens is that people come along and they say to me, "Oh, is there any chance I could watch that video that's on your members only playlist?" And then I'm like, all right then, buddy. I'll just make it. Not members only again. I'll do it for a couple of days, and then I'll turn it back, and then I forget kind of about it and leave it so it's visible for everybody. Need to go back and change those. I did used to have kind of members only things from time to time. I don't know. Maybe I should do that. Actually, tell you what. I was thinking, in terms of Patreon stuff, though, I might start doing it so that I make the video public here for people at like market open or whatever. I don't know, or at at like an hour before or half an hour before market open, and start half an hour before then and make the video unlisted but only share it via Patreon for the Patreon people. That's something I was thinking about doing. That's just an idea. But anyway, whoop 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 whoop. Right, yeah. So if I was to do a wee video for the market open, which I'm not going to do, so it's cool because you are here watching now. This is what it would kind of look like. Whoops. Whoops. Kind of look like this. Hello friends, my name is Rocky Outcrop. Insert witty comment here. This is a video about GameStop and what we're wanting to see at the start of the day here. We know that the pre-market prices are up there, up there, at $173.52 right now, which means that the markets will most likely open up in the next 10 minutes or so with a gap towards the top side, or actually towards the downside here. And there's a couple of key areas for us. Now, this gap is going to be above this line, which we want to close above. Now, the chances are that we'll probably come back down and fill in this gap, as you can see, which will be bringing the prices back down to 167. So at the opening phase of the market, I'm going to be aware of this and think about the dynamics that occur. If we do actually close above that line, then I will still expect overall for the gap to be filled, but it might just be fantastic to see that for a number of other reasons, whether it happens before or after the gap fills. So throughout the day, I'm still going to be looking for this to occur in their closures above 171. Now, I'm going to be quite kind of generous with that and talk about it as if I want to see the prices closing above that on a 15-minute basis, when in reality, I really want to see them closing above that on a maybe more like an hourly candle. But I want to say, 15-minute basis, really essentially, just I'm aware of the fact that that could happen at the start of the day and then spend the rest of the day looking to seek out that gap. So, kind of looking at the dynamics about how it all works in the morning. Now, this area here, which I'll just kind of show you a bit clearer perhaps by taking the drawings off the screen perhaps, is where the wick was. Now this blue line at the top end of that channel is where this wick was. That's where that is. Now that's why I want to see closures above that zone to start turning us around in terms of the prices. Now if we do actually oscillate around in here for a while, that's all fine, but I want to see closures above it, not just wicks above this. So that's kind of like the key ideas for the first couple of hours in the morning. By doing so, we'll be taking out the 50 period simple on the lower term time frames here. This is the 15-minute chart. So what in terms of like the day, etc., am I looking for? Well, jumping up towards the 4-hour time frame, there's a clear target up above that we obviously want to see our sort of paratroopers landing in to see if we can, ideally get behind enemy lines at some point during the day. And for me, that kind of comes in at around about up towards where we're in this area just here. In fact, my little paratrooper's a little low down. I have to move him up a bit. In the area here between the 200 simple moving average and the 50 period on the 4-hour time frame. As we can see quite clearly here, we are obviously seeing the prices operating below that currently. This is one of these times when we have a dip below the 200 simple. So just going back in time to show a couple of examples of when this happened last, and as you can see, it has obviously been quite some time. That we don't want to, we've come down here before and pushed that back up. We didn't actually spend very, very long down here, but it was obviously a number of days. Over here you can see as well, we dropped down and had this big push up in a V-shaped recovery. Of course, that was back when back in April there during the basing of that cup with handle, and we want to see that was below the 50 and pushing back up, to be honest with you. The thing is, it's like I don't want to spend a significant period of time like underneath this zone. I'd rather see this operate like a V-shaped type recovery, and to pop us back into that area. Now, does it have to happen that way? It certainly doesn't. That's just it certainly doesn't, and it certainly don't necessarily expect it to happen until even the afternoon. However, we could be on our way then before then, and I'd be looking up there towards that zone, and that's coming up towards that 200 price point, right? So at the lower end of it, I'm looking towards 100 and 190, and the higher end around about 200. That would be ideal if we could finish the week out there overall. So the weekly time frame here, just so we get a sort of quick look at it. And have to hide these drawings again, they're all over the shop there. If we look up towards where that line is, it's at 250, 210, etc., or $200, etc., all quite a way away from really turning anything around. But what it does give you would be would be a good setup for like the next week or two to see this turning green and then us trending towards the top side again, and then having a really fantastic sort of mid to end July to mid August run it with prices over that period of time. So kind of waiting for this to kind of sort of sort itself out. At the minute, the fact is that the closes are going to be putting in a higher low than on the previous lows on the weekly. That's ideal. Looking to stay above 152 in terms of any negativity for that throughout the day, etc. But here we have it. Any movement that's on this will just simply create a bigger wick at this stage, and it's kind of like a question about how we get a setup for next week. So this is why I'm kind of saying that would be ideal to be in that 190 to 200 range. If it doesn't happen, that's all right. Closing up above that 172 area is actually fine in terms of just what we need to see happen throughout the day. It could happen right away. We might see a gap fill come back down there for us, and that's what I'm kind of looking at the start of the day. Now, of course, no plan survives contact with the enemy. So who knows how it'll pan out. We don't know how it'll pan out. I'm not predicting the future over here. I'm just talking about like what the game plan is going into the start of the day, and we'll kind of let reality inform us of what we're really thinking. Right, cool, okay, nice one. So let's just look at it. Right, Cameron McCauley, have the Bollinger Bands got even narrow since they were squeezing on the 4 hour a week or two ago? Let's have a look at that. Let's have a look at that real quick. Personally, I don't spend a great deal of time looking at the thickness and narrowings of the Bollinger Bands, although I do appreciate that that's a big part of what people look at and get out of them. Where's my That's what a lot of people get out of them. But as you can see here, this is the 4 hour time frame. We're not getting narrower at the minute, so the context of your question's a little bit out there, buddy. Have the Bollinger Bands got even narrower since they were squeezing on the 4 hour a week or two ago? Are you talking about GME over here? You can see that we've got wider than we were a week ago, a week or two ago, over the entire period of the last couple of weeks. So there's your answer on that one. But I don't really look to the narrowing and squeezing of the Bollinger Bands all that much. I get better signals elsewhere in terms of what that signal means. Essentially, and I'm not massively into looking at the bulges and everything else like that. And that's totally fine because a lot of people are, and it works really well for them. For instance, Tony Wright talks about that all the time. He's a good guy, and I like him. So a lot of people look at these different things in different ways. I'm not too concerned about that. Matt Raff, your DMI is making my nuts tingle for today. Reasonable assertion? Oh, that's cool. Right, yeah, no, a reasonable assertion in terms of like this is a turnaround area, a typical turnaround area for the negative for that there on that front. The 1 hour showing that it has kind of turned around and that we were seeing that with regards to TD sequential that we talked about yesterday, how there is the signals coming in here on various different time frames for us to be looking for a turnaround, and a 9 on the daily, of course, the ideal one that you want to see there. Then in terms of like the 15 minutes, what have we got here? Yep, a cross. And not only is this a cross, which is positive, it is a cross which is positive, which just happens to be while the ADX is still up there above 25. So the momentum that came down here, instead of being like coming down and having to go a full stop and then turn around and then come back up and build up its own unique positive momentum, it's able to capture some of that sort of momentum which was previously towards the downside and use it as part of its upward trajectory thereafter. And that's an ideal cross, like right there. So that's cool. And then what do we have over here as well? So that's cool. It's made it past the 40. It's up at the 50 on the 3 minute time frame. It makes sense, because like we could easily see this gap getting filled here on the 3 minute time frame. That would look like it's pulled back right at the 50, as you would probably expect, as there's probably going to be a gap which probably gets filled. 2 minute time frame, 1 minute time frame. Exactly the same story there in those micro time frames. And also worth noting, it's outside the Bollinger Band on the 3 minute. On the 1 minute, the 2 minute, 3 minute, and all that, it's tracing the Bollinger Band right now, so that's quite nice. But where are we coming in for on the lower end of this thing? 162. That's too far, like needlessly, they've got extra range there. No, yeah, 3 minute time frame, seeing it coming at 163 as well. So and 165, of course it's not going to be, of course it's going to be outside the Bollinger Band at the start of the next thrust. Yeah, cool. Are we going to test 189 or 183 at some point? That'd be sweet. Yeah, it's cool, man. It should be. Yeah, so it's doing the right thing there. On the 1 minute GME, I see long wicks with a small fills. Does this? What does this denote? I bet it is basic, but I am clueless. Okay, so on the 1 minute GME, I see long wicks with small fills. What does this denote? Okie dokie. So we're just going down to the 1 minute here. First off, here, all of this little sort of constellation, as opposed to a nice thin line, you're going to have to kind of use it, be like the ancient astronomers and draw imaginary lines between the dots here to see how the prices are moving, is showing you that there is indeed, it's a fairly low traded stock, overall. Like, it's our favorite stock, we love it, blah blah blah. That isn't a negative thing to say. It's just there isn't huge amounts of volume on this, and not very much trading really happens, and the prices get pushed around quite a lot on the 1 minute time frame without any kind of trading elsewhere happening. So one trade here, one trade here, one trade here, one trade here. I mean, it's more than one, but the thing about it is, but it may well just be a very low number, literally a very low number, and therefore you see this happening because the liquidity then versus those numbers of trades means that the prices move enough in terms of like a number of pennies, just fulfilling that order, then the bid and buy part moves, because the market maker algorithms are like, right, a market order came in here, they dance one section up so that their shop, if you like, where they say I'll buy it and sell it. I mean, if you think about it, like the market makers and so often are like the bureau de change at the airport, where they've got their sign up saying we buy at this price, we sell at this price, and they're in the middle, and then somebody makes a buy, so then they dance up again, and that becomes their middle, and then it's like we buy at this price, we sell at this price, and then somebody comes along and does a sell, and they dance down to the next one, we buy at this price, we sell at this price, because they put up liquidity in terms of limit orders on there, because they make the market, right? And so then the prices dance around, and that's just how markets work. So you're seeing nothing anyway. There's no wicks on those candles. That's the 1 minute time frame. Unless you're looking directly at the NYSE and the CBOE, slightly different, and I need to get a better data here for the 1 minute time frame, and that's maybe actually what's going on over here. Let's see if I can actually just upgrade that. If I can upgrade this thing here. I don't want to put any payment details up on screen, so I took that off just in case something popped up, I'm just trying to look and see how do I get my NYSE data. I think it's like £2 a month or something. I just don't know where it is. I mean, it makes literally basically no difference. Subscribe to real-time markets, yeah. NYSE, yeah. Next. Oh, I have to actually enter all his details again. God, man. Sucks. Streamlabs, please refrain from being a knob, says somebody. Okay, Streamlabs, you heard the man. Refrain. Refrain, my friend, refrain. I think I've still got time to do this and do a quick AMC sort of look before the market's open, but I know that that's incredibly optimistic. But I'm trying to get my real-time data. There's no point in talking about this all the time without subscribing to it. I just forget, Sorry about the delay here. Probably going to get two-factor authentication crap on the go and whatnot. Okay, Outcrop, you have 2 minutes till ding dong, bing bong, price is wrong. Brilliant, fantastic. Thanks for letting me know. Come on. 793250. 793250. 793250. Right. Sweet. I'm trying to get it there. I'm trying to get it. Right. New York Stock Exchange. Next. Done. Right. So, reload. Was it worth it? Let me work it. Yeah, it was worth it. Good. Nice one. Excellent. That's much better. Much better. And the 5 minute candles will be much better too. Yes, excellent, thanks. Although the prices are pretty much identical. Yeah, it's not massively traded stock. The CBOE does a really good example of actually just explaining that answer to you. The answer was right. It's just, you can see that there's more than one trade happening here, whereas the CBOE is kind of arbitraging between them, and it's showing you that data, but it's because there's so little volume, it doesn't need to do much of that, and that's why there's those gaps there, and that's why there's these wicks here with very little much happening. Jeff Smith, appreciate you being here, giving green or red. Cheers, excellent. Right, sweet. So we've got like 30 seconds to go. That's probably enough time to do a quick summary for AMC. Let's just bring it up. AMC. Unfortunately, not got all day in the world. Pre-market price. Hi friends, if I were to make a video, it would look something like this. Hi friends, the pre-market price of this one's at 38. There is a gap on this. It's quite similar to the GME story. I probably would expect to see that gap being filled. The prices be way outside the Bollinger Bands on these small term time frames. We are actually above the 50 simple. We're challenging the 200. We'll be up above that during pre-market, dropping back down. Hope to see the pre-market prices actually, the opening prices come back down, resolve with the Bollinger Band finding support at the gap fill at the 200 simple moving average. Shut up, ambulance. Shut your face. This is the 5 minute time frame. If we can do that and then continue to trace towards the top side, it will be sweet. I'm looking forward to this day's trade in action. Should be pretty good, but let's just wait and see how things go. Hopefully, there we have it. So, bing bong, there we go. The price is wrong currently. Let's see how things get on. Here's both, reload that screen there, please. So here we have it. So that's where we are. And there's them gaps, right? That was not predicting the future. You can see that because of pre-market pricing. And now we want to see, are we going to operate like some sort of breakaway gap and get continued momentum towards the top side? It could happen. Everything's very bullish, but I would rather, to be perfectly frank, see the gap get filled before moving on. But how significant of a gap is this? Let's review that real quick. Here's 24-hour or 5 minute time frame. Here's the 24-hour time frame. Damn it, right? And you can see that there actually really is no gap on the 24-hour time frame. That's already been filled in. The 4-hour time frame, there is a gap. Comes back down to $36. You know, so you know it's there. GME, here we have it. GME, GameStop Corp. It is a 4-hour gap, sure enough. Yes, of course, right? And it's right there. Now, can that operate as like a breakaway gap, etc.? Yes, it can, but we've been in this situation before, you know, with gaps that are like that, with loads and loads and loads of times. Loads and loads and loads of times. So just, you know, ideally, we can do that because that's cool. It also means that if we see that happen over the period of the next 4 hours, that's the third hour on the 4-hour time frame where it would have closed below 1, 2, 3, 4, closed below. So that was 7. That's 8. That's 9. Although it's not a perfect 9. So we've got the 4-hour TD sequential buy prices. It's not a perfect 9, but yeah, we've got that. Wait, was that right? Let me just add it back on again here. Where I've got it. There's one of them. Yeah, it's an 8. All right, sweet. So we're getting a 9 now anyway, but it's not a perfect buy signal. So if we had have waited around here in terms of the 4-hour time frame for like until this afternoon to do this, which may still happen, then we may still end up getting a perfected buy signal, and that's kind of showing us our range. That's hard for you to see. I appreciate that. That's kind of showing us our potential range, you know, in terms of that one. But this is what we were talking about before anyway, with regards to getting the signal on the TD sequential. And yeah, you know, it's on like Donkey Kong, but we're waiting for that confirmation to come in. It doesn't really come in until you're closing above that 185 area or so, which means it's like aiming up towards our targets anyway. How much time frame does your volume at price bars reflect? Okay, cool. I'll talk about that in a second because it's a confusing question there. Not confusing. It's a simple question. It's an easy answer, but it's the way you wrote it. The way you wrote it means I think should probably talk to you about it for a minute or two extra. Rocky Outcrop, you have 2 minutes till ding dong, bing bong, sweet. I'm up to date. D Harker, fist pumps, GME 173, 80 pre-market. Yeah, it's fantastic. Everything's going great, you know. I'm super happy with it going so great and everything like that. It's just that we have to be realistic about these things. And the fact of the matter is that we're going to be coming down and touching this 169 area currently. And, you know, it could change. That could change. Right, Rocky Outcrop, appreciate you being here. Yes, sweet, thanks Jeff Smith. Oshin, I don't think the point of two-factor verification is to shout out the code on stream, Rocky. Oh yeah, that's right, it does say that during the message, but I mean, come on. Apple Blossom was the smart cookie. I mean, you can only use them once, right? You can only use the code once. Suppose maybe they could phone up and be like, oh yeah, this is my last two, whatever. Brady Pearl, good day, Rocky Outcrop. Good day, Brady. Good day. Right. Clearly explained. Cheers. Thanks very much. Yeah, cool. Nice one. It was coincidental in terms of the CBOE chart, but that's the reason, right? K all. I won't be able to chat since I'm heading to the beach now. Jealous. Nice one. Hope you have a nice time at the beach, Katie Babes. But I'll be listening along. Thanks, Rocky. Have a great day, everyone. Wee. Simon Bell. Katie, yes, my new favourite source for GME. Oh, hope that's me. Who? Wait a minute. Was that at? Who was that at? Katie, yes. Simon Bell, yes. It was great. Love seeing the brothers together. Yes. Woo. Thanks so much, Katie. Love your comments. Love them. Apple Blossom. Ambo. Hey, Apple Blossom. Good to see you. Good to see you. Good to see you. Good to see you. Right. Yeah. So, Dragon Slayer says the best entry point for GME today. Thanks. Well, I mean, as things stand, 168, right? But like, right, you know, I do this, and how's it going to go? I mean, the best entry price the other day when I gave one at 181 was the best entry price, kind of in a way. But then the next day the prices dropped down, and we were kicking about, and like the best entry price was 161, blah blah blah. And then the next best entry price was 158. 158 then being the best entry price that there's been for the last few days overall. The potential's still there for 152, but like, you know, today's best entry price, hopefully, what we're really, you know, would be ideal, would be the best entry price for everybody who already holds it, would be 166.66 without any sort of further movement towards the downside. That would be the best one. I can come back and discuss that in a wee bit, but as people know, oh look at that, as it filled it, kind of, more or less, but not quite. As people know who've watched this channel a few times, really, I've kind of explained the, you know, as you know as well, we all know, I've already explained what we're looking at for that time. So let's just let it kind of resolve itself, and we can discuss those things after. Aaron Balling. So you were sitting there chatting. Are you chatting with somebody? But I wanted to say, right, KT said. How much time frame does your volume at price bars reflect? And then said, I mean, is it cumulative over all time frame, or maybe a week or the day? Right. So volume at price. When you said that, I didn't really know what you're specifically referring to, but these volume candles down below, if this is what you're talking about here, matey, they just reflect the number of trades that happened for this time period. It's the number of shares transacted. That's what that reflects to across all markets. So curious one, more interesting, obviously, in terms of like dynamics coming into play in terms of like in Forex, you know, like you're trading a currency against a currency, and you're looking and saying, well, which one is the base, etc. Well, it's the first one on the list, which is why then as well you've got like euro dollar and USD EUR as well, little dynamics that exist out there. Anyhow. So this is the base currency if you're talking about Forex or crypto or something like that, or it is indeed the number of shares if you're talking about that. And we are and yes, and I also sometimes use as well the VPVR, and you can see over here. Now over here this is the cumulative. It's cumulative, okay? Whereas down here it's done on the particular time. This is cumulative for the y-axis. So over here we have the x-axis volume. So at this point on the x at 15th of July there was this much volume, and so on and so forth. And over here you can say, well, at this point here, which was $214, there was this much volume. So same sort of thing, but this one is your cumulative one, and this one is your x-axis one. This is cumulative by virtue of the fact that it's on the y-axis, which of course means that it's not determined by time, it's determined by price, and therefore is going to accumulate numerous time zones across it. This one is not cumulative because it is determined by time, but it's cumulative for the time period which it represents. So evidently this is the daily chart, this is this volume candle, it will grow throughout the day. Okie dokie, that's cool, nice one. Now, whether that was whether you're watching that at the minute and thinking, yeah, I knew all of that, Rocky, or whatever, hopefully that's helpful for somebody out there, right? You, Smug Slug, you just became a member. Thank you so much. Dragon Slayer, we do the best we can with everyday entry prices. That's it, man. X is saying he means the VPVR. Yeah. Thanks, yeah. I did figure that out. I mean, I knew that. I kind of knew that. And yeah, the VPVR is how I said there at the end. It changes depending on how much data I put on the screen. So I put a lot more data on the screen here The Bollinger Bands with that the way that they work really messes up your screen, huh? Anyway, yeah, so you can see that building up, stacking up. Now, I don't really like the design of this thing 100% myself. It's designed in certain ways to help with people in the way that some people think that it would be good to have it designed, which I don't agree with. They've also changed the settings on TradingView so that you can no longer double click on the thing to bring up your options for it, which is a needless change that they made to that thing. Anyway, yeah, what I do is I just rack the row size up a whole bunch. I'll show you here if I put it down to 30, then you see it goes like much thicker. I feel like it's better to have that that detail there, compared to that. Now at 200 you can't see the individual lines in between, so you can go for 160 for example. I don't know how much that broadcasts for you on the screen, but for me it makes a subtle difference. Volume up and yeah, cool. And value area, I just changed that to 100 because I don't give a shit about what some ass hat in the world says about value area. If you change that around, you can see that it changes this coloring of it there. And you can choose those colorings yourself. And I used to use blue and yellow on mine there or something. Anyway, there you have it. That's that. Is that Bing Bong? Gamble Heist. Cool. Everybody having fun out there. L4G Custom Fabrication just sponsored. Wait a minute. Hold on. That's what that means. L4G Custom Fabrication. Welcome to Early Supporter Plus. Thanks so much. That's awesome. Brilliant. Thanks so much. Everybody, by the way, it'd be awesome. I will be moving I've not set up the Patreon thing for Discord only at the minute, so if you only would wanted to be a member of the Patreon for Discord membership only, that's silly because it's still free to join the Patreon. Just send me an email or tweet at me and you can join it. Patreon, however, if you want to do that, then or just go Patreon, and I'll just put in my link there. Now that's really appreciated. Anybody that does it is really appreciated. It's obviously got lower fees or whatever. Massively appreciated though, and I'm just sticking that in there, and I'll just pin that up the top as well. Why not? Pin message. So just so everybody knows, I do have one, and I really do appreciate it. That's where the Discord thing will be going. If you think to yourself, oh, I want to be in the Discord, and he said something about thingy, don't be confused. That's after I get 10k subscribers. By the way, shout out to all the new subscribers. By the way. Thank you so much for joining along here. 9,300 and something subscribers. Really, yes, amazing. That's true. 9,300 subscribers. We're well on the way towards 10,000 subscribers. I can hardly believe it. I'm so pleased. I'm so really pleased. So massive thanks to you and to everybody who's yet to come, of course. But that special kind of cohort of the sub 10k, for all of yous that are part of this kind of thing in the future, when we've got 1 million subscribers along with us here, then we'll all look back and be like, wow, amazing. There was that group of people. That kind of that took us from sort of 0 to 10,000, and I just want to say thanks to everybody for that. I'll always be very grateful for everybody who subscribes at any time ever, equally, But it is really wonderful living this journey right now with all of you who've already come along, and I'm just kind of saying that at the time that it's important to me. So thanks so much. Right, cool. So yeah, what are you chatting about over here? Can't wait till Rocky has a class of 100,000 people all chatting and learning. Totally, be brilliant. Janine W, congrats, Rocky, Outcrop, rocket. Yeah, I know, it's brilliant, isn't it? It's brilliant. The numbers are fantastic. Thanks to everybody as well that's watching along right now. If you did drop a like as well, massively appreciated, and all that good stuff. O2 Works fan, he is spreading his cheeks while sharting, causing a ghost shaft. Nobody hears it in the room. That's a ghost shaft, a ghost shart. That's very technical. It's very technical for people from America who don't understand that. or from other parts of the world, who are not native English speakers. It's a very visual. Rob Davis, I have to join at the lowest level until I can start making some money, and I look forward to upping my support as soon as possible. Thanks for the link. Cool, Rob. Thanks. Brilliant. Everybody who does that, super appreciated. Super appreciated. It's not a pressure thing. It's not a demand from me thing at all. It's what it is people choosing to be generous, and it's very well received, and that's all that is. There isn't any sort of shame on you for not joining the Patreon. Shame on none of that. Wazim Nabi, hey buddy, thanks so much. That's amazing. Right, is there? I think there's probably some other stocks that people would want to look at. Silent but deadly, yeah. Silent but violent, man. Silent but violent. So people say silent. People say silent but deadly, but it's silent but violent. That rhymes. Rhyming is important. Rock Outcrop, he is talking about Kenny and his shark attacking. Yeah, yes, shark attacking. Shark attacking. Yeah, wow, so many layers to that joke. So no one mind my late ass messages? Right, yeah, Kate Bates, nobody's going to mind. Rock, we appreciate you. Most of us pay for memberships and supers with money we make from your knowledge. No need to thank us, we thank you. All right, L4G, that's... yeah, right. I would hope so to an extent, but I am not a financial advisor, and none of this is financial advice. That was just a message sent in irony, of course, from L4G. Just ironic, wonderful, ironic stuff. And talking about the education. He's talking about the education and stuff. We've not filled in these gaps, right? That's kind of annoying in a sense, but doesn't really matter. Like I say, could be breakaway gaps as well. We filled in this one to a greater or lesser extent. Like if we jump up towards the 4-hour time frame, it's not been 100% filled, but it's got that kind of gestalt filledness to it. I'm not going to then continue at this stage to just focus my entire sort of efforts towards looking at that gap. We have got, of course, the 15-minute candles in here doing what we wanted to see them doing. So let's just go back and kind of review, in a sense, what I was talking about before, if those drawings are still on there, and see kind of where we stand, because we're not quite, and as you can see here, we're not quite at that level just yet. So we're still here, right? We're still here. We're still talking about the same concept. This is it. This is not going to dominate our focus, like I said, but we're able to relinquish these ideas when we see prices closing at 171, 72 sort of thing, whatever that happens to be. So we're up there. That's pretty close. There's 6.5 minutes left. But like I say, it's not going to dominate our thinking for the entire day. But we're here and we can see how this pans out. Let me just bring this down to the 15-minute time frame so it's a bit more visually stimulating, right? So this is where we are. Now we can enter the sort of the debate. Here would be debate point. Is this close enough, right? So we can think about that, right? This is maybe something that's a lesson for us for today, or a learning opportunity for today, right? Is this debate point? Is the debate point here with regards to this area? Is this close enough? Is it close enough? So, one of these questions that you're going to always going to be asking yourself. By the way, my TD sequential is actually messing with my candle colors there. Just going to take that off. Right. Okay. It's not like whatever. Right, so that's the debate point, and there isn't actually, I don't think, an official answer to that. I mean, maybe there would be. There's some schools of thought where they have a particular risk management approach, which is determined by the ambiguous aspects of that debate, which constitutes for them a complete package of an answer to that. But for me personally, my point of view is that there isn't actually a distinct necessary answer to that one. Whereas over there in cryptocurrency, I tend to just say that it needs to fill at 100%, or it just ain't filled, and that's that, and don't bother debating it, because that's kind of what you're looking to. Really, the stats on gaps getting filled is like 92%, or whatever. So that should happen in terms of general terms, and then on cryptocurrencies, like it just tends to, right? Adam Levinsky, I have my buy at 167.50. Should I move it up a touch at chat? See that? Adam. He's asking his chat friends out there. Yeah, chat. Tell Adam what you think. That's cool. Damn, Streamlabs. What's Streamlabs doing? I've got it set up so that it's like so that it's banning people or anything like that. No, it's all good. People seem to be getting away with it most of the time. Streamlabs for 1 second. Wait, somebody delete. What did he say? Naked Sharts. Naked Sharts from Stevie Max got deleted earlier on by Streamlabs. That's why, because it said, I don't know, Sharts or Naked Sharts. I don't know. That's funny. Right, sound. Anyway, don't try and abuse the system too much. You know, one of the reasons why it deletes that stuff is because, look, let me just dive back over this screen and have a quick second here to talk, right? Let's talk real for a second. See right here. Do you see right there? It says smash the like. Good point. Thanks, Space Banana. Slap the ask. Lol. That's funny. Morning, Eddie. See this? This is all cool. Nice chat. Nice chat. Please refrain from spamming. Blah, blah, blah. And then people are doing the heist. That's all good. I'm going to remove the heist thing from the chat or whatever. But see if somebody comes along here at some point and says something which is grotesquely misogynistic or something like that, but fits into the context of some conversation out there. And then I flick over to this screen and it comes up on this screen saying something like, I'm not going to say that. I'm not going to say it now, but I read them from time to time in the chat. Just think about it from my point of view that while it may have been kind of some funniness type joke, that what funny people do throughout the day is they kind of think to themselves like, you know, I want to score something like 50,000 funny points today, and then they make jokes like that, and it's totally cool, or whatever for the most part. But it's like, we know as we make jokes like that they're fairly low scoring funny jokes that only adds like 10 points onto your 50,000 point total that you're looking for, and it's not really worth it because it kind of like, you know, it would appear up here on screen and be a bit silly. So just so you know, but me personally, you know, I'm not like going to be telling people to like, oh, don't say childish stuff or whatever. Just realize that it appears on screen right beside my face, and it's not the best advert in the world if somebody says something like, oh yeah, she just wants you to do whatever, you know, or you know, something like that, and it's coming up not so funny in the long run of things. But anyway, not giving off to anybody, just telling you so you know for your own benefit as much as mine, because it might be looking silly on my thing, but it'll say your name up there, and you'll be like, oh yeah, that looks a bit silly when you show your wife the clip later on, and she's like, oh, that's really funny. I'm really proud of you for making that joke there. Right, sweet. Robert Outcrop, I have to make crass jokes. It's how I stop from going insane in the madness of the world. Lemayo, yeah, I know. Same, man. Same. No, I agree. And you've got that going for you, man. It's totally fine. I wasn't specifically referencing anybody specifically at all. Just saying for knowledge sakes that I have my chat on screen, and yeah, you know. I mean, what the hell? It's amazing. I don't need to talk to you like you're actually kids. What the hell? You know, right? Anyway, cool. So, but I don't like how Streamlabs has been a bit too bossy at the minute. That's for sure. Being a bit too bossy. What did Lepton Inc. just say there now in caps? I wonder what it was. I love you all. You see the passion there. I read it out anyway, Lepton. The message was there. Right, sound. Okay, cool, sweet. Dan Wildo laughing. Why? What did Dan Wildo say? Let's scroll up and see what Dan. Joke's on me. I don't have a wife. Right. So this is where we still are, right? We're still here. So people will be like, oh, but why have we not gone up yet, Rocky? Why have we not gone up yet? And there could be like a million different ways of presenting this technical analysis for y'all. We've done it like in a couple of different ways already today. You know, you've got your Bollinger Band here showing us that we're coming back down and retouching it again as we're, you know, as we're destined to do a couple of times there. We've touched it both times. I'll just get rid of the thingy. This is the sorts of tips that I find are exceedingly useful when it comes to learning to trade. Really, because they're the type of things that you only really learn after you've kind of already learned how to trade most of the time, for the most part. At least the ones that I kind of be putting out there. For instance, like when it's gone outside the Bollinger Bands, it's probably going to come back down into them. Maybe that is something you learn early on because I'm talking about it and without having the ability to live too lives at the same time, you wouldn't ever get that. It would never be able to answer that question. But yeah, that's a good one. That's a really good one, right? That's a really good one. And it happens all the time. Now, we're still also looking at this at the same time where this gap is, and obviously it didn't happen straight away, so you can see now why that would have been ideal for it to have happened straight away. Because then, of course, we could be just looking to trace this towards the top side. As it stands at the minute, if we do come back into this, we're coming back down to this zone. But that's okay, because in the next 15 minutes, that'll also constitute a retest again of the 50 simple. We actually had a retest of that again as well. But at the minute, this is the indecision that we're going to see. I mean, 30-minute time frame, doji candle, right? This 15-minute time frame. I'm talking about, what am I talking about here? What am I talking about? Indecision, right? Why does it seem like I'm talking in a way that seems like I am undecided about things? Does it mean that I don't know what's happening? No, I'm telling you what's obviously happening here on this chart. Right, that's what's happening, and you can see it by flicking up a time frame. So that becomes revealing. You look at it on the 5-minute time frame, you look at the 2-minute time frame, and you're like, okay, so we're kicking along. This is trading, and you're like, Rocky, what does it mean to have a context of the larger time frames? And what do you mean? What time frame is best to trade on, Rocky? What's the best time frame to trade on? And it's like, what answer can I give you to that? I'm demonstrating now here in a way which is not very abstract or hard to understand at all, about the dynamics that exist as you look between different time frames, as you're seeing different types of candles, and how from one person's point of view that looks like indecision, whereas from another person's point of view it looks like we're doing great. We've made a base here, we're establishing support, we're doing whatever, and you can tell that that's just simply not the case. So then it comes back down to the story of me saying, well, it could go like either way, but I'm not bullshitting you. I'm telling you exactly how it is from the most reasonably intelligible, accessible point of view of what's actually going on here. Real technical analysis, what the real stuff is. So yeah, that's what that is. Rocky Aircraft, apologise for the repeat. Maybe too involved a question, but why does it fill the gap? What is the need that's satisfied? Whose need is that? Right, so these are questions, again, that have spanned the ages, the agest of ages. So much of it is hard to understand without using analogies and parables that distract you away from so much of the point about it. But one simple way of looking at it is that trading during the day. One way of looking at it is that trading. One way of looking at it is that the price of anything at all in the world is determined by what people are willing to pay for it. That's what determines the price of something in free markets. And the prices and on those gaps, it's not been established if anybody was willing to pay for it or not at that point. Right, which is kind of like the headline. Really, it's not even that's just one angle of it too. I mean, there's that approach, right? There's that idea that people want to talk about in terms of like the in terms of the free markets and the demand and supply and prices determining prices, and therefore it's about the gap is less about filling the gap and more about how the prices react when it gets to that gap, because every single price of any snapshot of price at any given time is just a snapshot along the journey, and that price is always something that moves. Always, the price is not just the price it was now, was then, is now, or will be in the future. That the price is all of those things, just like your life. That you are you. Like, you're not the guy that goes to that high school. You're not the guy that has that baby on that day. You're the guy that does all of these things, that lives throughout that entire life. You're not defined by any given moment or circumstance of your context. That's you. You're that. Well, much in the same way, that's price, and right. So there's that whole philosophy. Then there's the other side of it as well, where it's like, well, market makers operate during the day primarily, and they need to square up their accounts. And another one is that the pre-market, post-market prices are where where the gaps are created because prices are being traded there, then markets open, and that's then creates the gap, and that info was false anyway. So that's kind of ignorable, and that you're going to test real support and real resistance, which comes from the day. So that's always going to go back just to test what's real, because that's not even real. Then there's the concept of that the prices have been manipulated up there in order to create this for the liquidity. I mean, if you think about it, the hydroelectric dams that during the day they pump out electricity to people to use in cities, and then at night time they use electricity themselves to pump the water back uphill. And somebody that's just arrived on planet Earth might think that's crazy. You're making electricity and then you're using electricity to pump the water back uphill, and the laws of thermodynamics means that that's a wasted energy. You're wasting energy. This is Newton's laws. This is the third law of thermodynamics, and you're just using it and don't care about efficiencies, when in actual fact it costs less for nighttime electricity to pump it up the hill, and you can sell the daytime electricity for more. It's an economic, commercial viable thing, and it's actually an important part of maintaining electricity in the grid. So the same thing here, right? It costs way less during pre-market to pump the water up the hill, and then when the market's open, to dump it back down again, in the same way that a hydroelectric dam works. So within one of those 5 main key component debate points from this idea of what it is to fill a gap, you can choose whatever paradigm fits you the most in terms of how you want to discuss it, when the truth of the matter is that it's always going to be that we live in a chaotic world, and that there's going to be elements of all of it within that. Anyway, hope that helped. Jess Smith, is the gap caused by where price quotes start, stops, and where we must fill the different later? Yes, and I look between wicks. Some people look between bodies, etc., stuff like that. That's not accurate, as we know. Time prices are not determined by time. That there's a nice X and Y chart that we can draw from it, and it's beautiful, insightful, and helps us an awful lot. But it doesn't matter about time when you're talking about prices in terms of this. That's another component with this gap thing, right? Because you're looking at a gap there, and the gap shows you the where prices were traded at certain times versus each other. So it introduces a date component to it, a time component to it. Whereas it's not about where the bodies have closed. It's about whether or not you've gone wick to wick, because that's where the price has been traded at. So if you were to, test it out, and it doesn't matter the journey of price. It doesn't matter if you get a paper cut. That doesn't define you as a person. However, it might also define, in a sense, your pain range that you're willing to go through before crying that day, right? So doesn't define you as a person, but it's certainly something which has definitive meaning in and of itself. So you go down to that price point, and then it depends how you react at that time, and it could be having a time component to it. Of course it could, but it isn't about that. It's about the price, and that's it. And that's a y-axis consideration only, and therefore isn't to do with body closures for me personally, right? So that's that one. And you can see then it's a doji again, it's still doji, but it's still just kind of got that deflating point, but we're waiting, and this is the debate here for us. Should I do anything else here? I mean, I could do AMC technical analysis and all the rest of it as well, but I mean, it's not like this is a crap episode. I'm enjoying fair enough, just waiting to see if the rating that we've got on the chart here plays out for us, and I'm interested to see as to how that debate point resolves itself as well. But whatever. What you chatting about in there? Cool. Cheers, lads. Got to run to weekend. See you next time, Smug Slug. Good man. Catch you next time. Observe thyself. Kevin Bacon. Wait, what? Giggity 169. Giggity 169. 269, 369. How many 69s? How many 69s do you want? How many 69s? Rock Outcrop, maybe this is a stupid question, says Brady Pearl. How many GME shares would one likely need in to hold in order to be able to capture any sort of dividend? One. There you go. Excellent. Now, I'm not 100% sure how people who do fractional dividends work. I do believe that you get them anyway. I think you get a fractional dividend when you've got a fractional share as well. Pretty sure. You can also hold fake shares. Fake shares, you'll get your dividend. They're cool. CFDs, contracts for difference, they're illegal in America, but you can do them over here. You'll still get your share, your dividend. It's a fake share. It's not even a share. It's not even at all. It's a contract for difference. That's all it is. But because of the way that these things work, and there's a key obvious dynamic that happens every time with shares and why they have an ex-dividend date, and the general arbitrage that's played around the value of the dividend and the value of the share and how that all works. It's played massively by every single institution for every single decent dividend share they've got, and every single mutual trust. And yes, mutual trusts do also buy in share sales. They don't just only buy shares. They also buy and sell shares. That's just how it works. So yeah. So what am I talking about again? Dividend. Contracts for difference are they're a thing in the UK, and you still get them because we understand that dividends have a value implication for the stock itself, and that in it around about the dividend date that has a bigger one, blah 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 blah, and that is well known. It's well known. So in the contracts for difference gig, they also give you your thing. Dividend. Rock Outcrop. If one share of GME was moving west at 1 mile per second, or 1 meter per second, sorry, and one share of AMC was moving east at 3 meters per second, how far away would they be before shorts cover? Wow, man, I'm just no good at math. I can see you've laid out all the information there. I just need to have. If I had a pen and paper and a calculator, I could maybe work it out, man. But just no good at math. Rocky Outcrop, if you had to list the 5 giants of TA by significance, relevance in today's market, how would you order it? Cheers. Ah, man. I don't know, because it becomes very kind of personal, or whatever right now. And not personal, but like personal. It's opinion related. I don't think that there's any real giants currently around in terms of TA which have got giant status, which have remained pure to the TA mission at all. So the likes of people like Tim Draper or whatever certainly don't count. Okay. Then in terms of like TA kicking about at the minute that has somehow managed to remain relevant and offering sage advice, and they're still alive, it's hard to say. I mean, I've not thought it. I mean, because obviously you've got like the likes of Tom DeMark we were talking about yesterday. You've got the likes of Bollinger, John Bollinger, that came out of the Bollinger Bands. All these people. Wells Wilder Jr.'s dead at the minute, so doesn't count. But maybe it doesn't even matter if they're alive or dead. Who are the giants, etc. I'd put him on my list for sure. I just stick him up there. I mean, if you're able to include people who have died, then it still remains, the top 3 is still the top 4. 3. Look, you've got Wells Wilder Jr., right? You've got Dow Jones, or Dow, not Jones, just Dow. You've got Wyckoff. You've got Jesse Livermore and Lefebvre as a package together. What they did together with that book, I think is it takes it is it just elevates everything that the man himself did. Um, and that's us already got three who are dead. And the rest of them, I don't know, man. It's hard to know. If I had a better, I should think about that and come up with a better answer at some other point. I don't really care too much about what John Bollinger says about things. It's interesting. It's funny enough that it's interesting. He's alive, and I've got his indicator up there on the screen at the minute. Not massively caring about what he says about stuff. Other ones are kicking about that did things like cup with handle and stuff like that or whatever. Not massively bothered about. I think I probably have to give credit where it's due to like Bulkowski, in terms of what he's doing, in terms of like kind of promoting pattern analysis is good. Mark Douglas died recently. In terms of TA, he was a nothing, but in terms of psychology, he was quite a lot. Dictated quite a lot of the way that people think about things nowadays. He re-articulated what everybody already knew into a modern package that helps for people. So there's that. Anyway, don't know. Gan, yeah. I mean, Elliot as well. Like that's, yeah. I know a lot as well. I deliberately didn't put Elliot on the list, right? And that I deliberately didn't, and I put Wyckoff on ahead. I don't like. I'm not massively into Merrill. Gan, sure, but I'm not. I didn't. I don't. I've not spent a lot. I don't. I'm not into the geometry overall. Overall, I'm not massively into geometry, and all of that sort of stuff. I mean, yes, but if I were to include him on a list, you'd expect to see a Gan fan from time to time or something on the show, and you never do. So I couldn't reasonably do that. Fibonacci himself, with the numbers that came up, I mean, that's been implemented by people. Scott Carney with his harmonics, I think, is a beautiful thing as well. But I think that I think that his reputation. I don't even know. Actually, don't really know what his reputation would be. I think that he thinks a lot of himself. We're probably the same in that respect. I don't know, man. I don't know. There's a lot, right? Can you explain how you use DMI and how you connect it to other indicators and timeframes, especially how you use it on different volatilities? Simply put, the DMI shows the relationship of the price's relationship with the price. Okay, so as opposed to the price, or the relationship the price has. Or the relationship it has with the price. It's the price's relationship with the relationship that the price has with the relationship with the price has, kind of whatever. We're seeing here 3 lines. You've got the green line here, which could be any particular color on your chart, but this is the positive directional movement. You've got the purple line here, which is the negative directional movement, and you've got this line, which is the ADX, which is the average directional movement. Okay, the positive directional movement shows you the positive directional movement in the price relative to the previous prices with regards to the distance that it moved beyond the range of the previous candle, and whether if it was an outside or an outside trading day where it traded outside the range of the previous period's trading time as an average spread over the influenced by the times that came before it, in terms of the calculation for this thing. So this moves as well. The way that it works is it only ever adds a positive number on. So it can go down the way, but you'll note here on the y-axis on the left that the lowest number is 0. It's not like other indicators where you have a 0 point in the middle, like down here in the MACD, and you get minus and positive numbers, for example. So it only ever adds on a positive. The lowest it can go is 0. And then I've put these lines in the background. There are key areas where the markets often seem to pivot around at, and these are as demonstrated by these lines. The ADX itself, what it shows is the average strength of trend. Now that could be to either direction. That is direction agnostic. So the ADX is of course strengthening. Then that means that the strength of the trend is strengthening, whereas it doesn't actually show you what the direction of that trend is in a sense. So which which means the ADX itself can go down to very, very low levels, which would be the prices having a lack of volatility and not moving outside of the range of their previous compadres on the chart there, resulting in the ADX getting no positive numbers to push it up the way, so there's no strength of trend, which results in extremely low prices, which is a precursor to huge volatility. And most often as well, we see that this kind of shows us behind the scenes of what the market makers are thinking, and the prices will return to their departure point normally in a square up situation from there. You also see then when you have crosses, etc., the positive crossing over the negative, that's good to see. You can see that then the disparity between them will often be the case whenever the strength of the trend is really truly there, and it continues to move up as the other continues to move down, etc., along with the ADX moving up, showing you that that's there. If we do see this ADX manage to, of course, stay in a high position while you've got a cross, then you know that you've got that strength of trend that's still there while you're turning things around. Fantastic to see, for example, during V-shaped recoveries in markets. DMI. There we go. So the debate, I think, for today has been answered, right? So we can kind of add to this. Cool. Education, formation of friends. Right, nice one. Did we learn something there? We maybe learned something with regards to gaps in general. Now, that debate, I think, will go on, okay? We can do that debate all over again. We'll see it in future episodes, and we can do it just like that if you think that that was a valuable experience. And we can see just how often we do actually fill in the gaps entirely. The statistic that comes by saying that gaps get filled 92% of the time, etc., I would like to revisit that, reading that. I've talked about that, and it's been part of my consciousness for a long time, but I would like to revisit that and look at it and see what they constituted a fill as being, and how often prices move back into almost fill and then move on. It's like gaps get filled X% of the time completely, Y% of the time to some degree or another, and Z% of the time they actually are defended at the region at the top without being filled. And of course that would be interesting to see. So that's cool. Did I miss anything? I feel like I've missed maybe perhaps some donations or whatever, so let me just check and see. Can you explain how you use DMI? Cool, got that one. Hey Rocky, can we take a look at MMAT? Oh, somebody stuck a buck in through the donation. That's awesome. I'll take a look at MMAT for ya. Stally, oh, it's you, Stally, man. Great to see you. Zach Butineski donated $2 through Super Chat. Thanks, Rocky. You're welcome. Hey, Jamie, how you doing? I swear, Governor, it's just the chart. Hey, nice one. Let's take a look at MMAT. Naturally now, by the way, with regards to GME, we talked this one through quite well. We're now at the point where we're actually looking back up now. I could obviously change that to say that we have filled that in. That was quite cool. I think it's really cool, right? I'm the type of person who would see something like this and think, shit, that's one of the coolest things I've seen on YouTube ever. Now, that isn't going to be everybody, okay? I appreciate that. Not everybody's as into technical analysis as I am, or as into kind of trying to share the message and educate people and to do it in that sort of way. But here we have it. That was pretty cool. I thought it was pretty cool. So yeah, right. Just to clarify, do those wicks close the gap? That's it. That's correct, Brady. The wicks, it's not for me about bodies closing. It's about the prices going there. The prices are on the y-axis. The y-axis doesn't actually have any sense of time necessarily. Obviously there's an interrelationship between these, and that's what we see as the charts. That is the crossing of those two things. But price exists out with time. Time exists out with price. The relationship between those two is demonstrated on the charts. The prices are what fill the gap. It's not time that fills the gap. It's price that fills the gap. It happened regardless then, therefore, of wick or body, because it's bodies and wicks are a description of the Y and the X and how they overlap at the period of that particular time that you're looking at in the context of that chart. Unless you had a fourth dimensional brain, you wouldn't be able to represent this in a better way. This is as good as we really can in terms of how we're thinking about it right now, although you could probably do something in the 3D to make it so that it was a bit clearer. You could probably do a 3D volume component, which is why I've got this volume over here, but this is a 2D expression of those three concepts essentially. So yes, Rock Outcrop top values as always. Thanks. Yes, you're welcome, Simon M. Duo Maxwell touching the wicks. Somebody asked me something a minute ago and I've forgotten what it was. I M Matt for Stally. I love these wee notes, Rocky Outcrop. That's cool. That's awesome. Cheers, Kim. Right. Matt. Metamaterials. Matt. How we doing? Well, we've got our buy. This chart has come to this area as an inevitability. We spoke about it quite a bit. This is a good time for people to see how this happens so very often. What that is between the 1.272 and 1.618 fib extensions. So that's something to be bearing in mind. Where was that fib taken in from? Well, the high here to the low here, really, essentially. Like that. That's where that was taken in from. Okie dokie. And that's where that went to, right? Here was a gap. It got filled. Obviously. I mean, those are moot points. But what have we done? 12-hour time frame, we're at the 200 simple moving average. 24-hour time frame, we're at the 200 simple moving average. Daily time frame, we're at the 200 simple moving average. Daily time frame, 24-hour time frame, 12-hour time frame. How many hours are there in a day? How many hours are there in a trading day? How many hours are there in the American trading day? It's different from the rest of the world. Less Americans, they know what's going on. So these things overlap. So the 12 hours obviously has goes back over the period of a day and a half. Now, when you're looking at this, we can see that the 200 simple's just down there, right? It's down there, and it's at this price point here, and it gives us an easy enough way to manage our risk. You can do it whatever way you want. Now, we could obviously go on down and still go down towards a higher low, which we've talked about at 267. We talked about this the whole way down, by the way. This has been something. We talked about this, and we were kind of waiting for this thing to happen. It did a couple of days ago. It's happened again. Okay, fine, and we're in this zone now. If you do want to, you can obviously take the same trade as before, and as you see here, it went up 30%. So there's very little need to actually risk an awful lot. And while this here is kind of like the type of trade that people watching along would imagine and want, with a huge risk to reward, fantastic, and prices go up by 221%. Bear in mind that you can actually see the prices up here at 20-30% up. Move your stop loss up. Be happy to take 20%, having seen a 30% move. I'm not a financial advisor on this financial advice. This is something that you could think about in future if you were to do what I do, which is something that I think about from time to time. But you could think about how I could take 20% of that at very, very low risk, without any sort of need to worry. And then I could maybe even make that opportunity all over again, which means that if it did go up there, then I'd have made, 20% extra, which is nice. And I'm not going to sniff at that. If it does go up there immediately without pulling back down, and I don't get to get 2 trades off of the back of it, then that's cool, okay, because I did it with no risk on the table. If the prices drop back down here and then I get into it a second time and it drops down, well, that's okay, because I already made 20% up there, and I'm sure as heck not risking 20% on that either, because this here is unrealistic for me. The reality of it is that I wouldn't trade that way. Okay, that's just the reality of it. But I would trade this way, and I've had trades very often that have been 28-1 risk to reward ratios, but I also wouldn't trade for that either. I'd probably look more like along these sorts of lines and be saying that, you could easily see a move up towards 570. You're getting a 10-1 risk to reward on that if you just trade it like that. You could trade it with a 5-1 risk to reward if you wanted to. Personally, the reason why I wouldn't be looking towards this in that sense is that we've got this distance between the previous high and low, and it's could easily come down to this area. If I were to buy in at this point, it'd be catching a knife, which I do frequently enough, but I would be worried about that in the sense that I could easily wait and catch into this in terms of any momentum towards the top side if there were any. At these lows here, we're seeing bullish divergence. It's not actually bullish divergence because these are just higher lows. So that's bullshit what I said there. But if they were lower lows, then they would have been bullish divergent. Is that what I'm really trying to get at? Which is be far more accurate and fair to say is that we're seeing this rising up the way overall. Nice channel on the go. If we got a bit of a trend line here, we don't want to break. We don't want to stay inside the negative controls, the bearish control zone. The neutral line is there in the middle of the RSI. Easy for us to get up above and attack. We need to do that. Taking out the moving average here on this one's not so great. We could easily see this dropping down. I'd rather buy into momentum, but it's there and it's doing well. It's doing well. But if we're back down here again, yeah, could that just end up being a bear flag? Well, it could, but this broadening out like this, it would break it soon enough. So I'm not massively keen on that idea. This broadening wedge aspect isn't very good either because it's back at its original starting point. So it's not a broadening wedge really anyway. At least in no practical terms. And yeah, this is obviously an M pattern on the charts, in a sense. You've got an Eve or an Adam and an Eve type thing or whatever on the go there. But yeah, so this is it. I mean, this is what makes it so that I mean, I wouldn't sit personally. I wouldn't like to suffer the anywhere from sort of 15, 10, 15, 20, 20, even 30% potential drop in price from here to there to trade this thing. There'd be no point in that. But I would happily take a trade from here up the way, knowing that I'd most likely be able to not only pay myself for doing it, but make it so it's a zero risk trade. Indeed, if I was to trade this towards the downside, I could also manage my risk tight at this point so that I wasn't actually, taking on any extra risk than I wanted to. I wouldn't hammer the trade 10 times in a row, taking 2% losses every time, stacking up to 20% in 10 minutes, not even realizing what I was doing. I'd kind of give it a second as well. And that would be that. Sorry, man. That's as much as the TA is going to go in terms of MMAT today, really, for you. We've talked about this for a wee while. We've come back down to this obvious area where we had a move already. This was good. Everybody that was watching along at the time had kind of no excuse to get in and not take at some point along the way. Oh, I'll take 10%. Oh, I'll take 18%. Oh, I'll take 23%. Oh, I'll take 27%. Oh, I'll take 30%. Oh, I'll take 33% profit on that move, sort of thing. So it's kind of cool on my I've got the whole dust cloud behind me and walking away saying the job here is done. But we're doing it all over again, and the risk move here is the same sort of idea. There has been a something shaking outside. There has been a movement towards the top side. We've got higher highs in there. Along the way, we didn't get bearish divergence. We have pushed back up into the bullish control zone on some of these smaller time frames, and then go up towards the hourly time frame, and we could maybe be looking towards kind of like trying to push out of this. Obviously, from the 4-hour time frame, it's like negative currently, but we've come in here and maybe found a higher low that kind of coincides with all of the TA up here, and then from the broad perspective, then we've got a hidden bullish divergence at this low, which is typical that you would see something like this before markets actually did continue to turn around. I mean, it's very negative momentum, but the very negative momentum only succeeded in getting us down to that 236 again. So you've got your buy opportunity here. No need to look at fundamentals, never is. So just a quick tip for anybody, save you. At the very least, I mean, the most expensive thing in life is time, and life. That's the most expensive thing. So if I'm going to give you any tip in life at all, I'll just tell you, don't waste your time in your life looking at fundamentals. Rocky Outcrop, can you still see? I mean, or do, but 5 minutes. Rocky Outcrop, can you still see my super chat from 30 minutes ago? What? Sorry. Mining boom. Let's say Zach. Zach, mining boom. Hi Rockstar, can you please explain to Smooth Brain what drop out of the money calls are, deep out of the money calls are, and how failures to delivers can be avoided being covered with them? Thanks in advance. Man, mining boom. It was 40 minutes ago. I was rude. I'm sorry about that. I didn't mean to miss that. I appreciate it. Right, so what is a deep out of the money? What is out of the money and in the money when it comes to options? Out of the money and in the money. In the money means that you have the option to buy or sell something, and it is going to have value in there for you. Like, you've got something that's this glass of water here. This is being traded on the open markets for $1, and you have the option to get this for 50 cents. So you've got that 50 cents, like of difference there. That's in the money. In the money by 50 cents. That's what you would have, because you've got the option to buy that glass of water. It sells everywhere else for $1, and you can buy it for 50 cents. That's in the money. Now, if it was out of the money, right, it means that it is that you've got the option to buy that for 120, right? If you want to buy an out of the money call or put or an option, and it's out of the money, it's going to be cheaper than one that's in the money, because you're buying that profit potential within the money. The profit potential is still there, certainly at least in terms of the delta in terms of the change from one day to the next, until the thing expires. There's still value there, except it's not necessarily going to be profit, etc. Right there and then. Now, the profit is a bad word, because you then pay a premium for that option, which is why those in the money ones would be expensive versus out of the money ones would be cheaper, because you're paying that premium, and that's the options premium that you hear about people talking about with regards to intrinsic and extrinsic value. So intrinsic value comes when your things are in the money, and intrinsic and out of the money options have no intrinsic value. They just have this extrinsic value that can come from the Greeks, as they call them, changing, and the time to expiry changing, etc. as time goes by. Because these out of the money calls therefore are cheaper, it is able to be bought at a cheap price, and therefore are a relatively cheap lower premium. And from an accountancy point of view, it looks like you've got the right to buy something, so you're covered. Whereas from a reality point of view, you don't. You don't have the right to. So that's hopefully goes to answering your question, because it's like an accountancy style trick to do. Now, the reality of it is that is just an accountancy style trick. Failure to delivers result in the participant of the DTCC who failed to deliver having a commensurate amount of liquidity taken from their account on a daily basis at a marked to market value by the DTC. That in itself constitutes, because there's no fees, etc., then I'll get to that in a sec. Thanks so much. Because there's no fees on that, and no redemption fees or anything like that, it basically counts as being like a low cost loan, if you like, in a sense. They have to put up collateral, but they're being lent it, and then and that kind of just kicks along forever anyway. The failures to deliver only forced to be covered whenever another participant forces a buy-in, or indeed that the participant with the failures to deliver has had that much money taken from their account because of the mark-to-market value of the FTDs for which it is responsible exceeds their account value to the point that they get given a margin call. That's when the times that they have to cover are. The rest of the time they don't have to cover, and if they do, it's just a legislative, legal kind of, accounting type thing. And of course, just breaking that results in a low cost fine. And that's the general kind of thing. That's where we are. That's just basically that. So that, now of course there's a whole ton more that you could talk about, etc., but that's kind of it. And so what they do is they try and buy these call options. They say, hey, look, we've got them. Wrap that up, give us our liquidity back, etc. And that, because we've got these things, it's cool. We will cover them at one point, except the FTDs then still kick around in the system, and there's still FTRs on the other end of it. Now, the FTRs and the FTDs that are in the system just get processed at the back end by the DTCC. So one particular brokerage which did a failure to deliver and whatever else resulted in you becoming somebody who's holding a synthetic share because you bought the other end of that. You think, well, actually, no, you just get chucked into a list that gets sorted through every day by the DTC in the background. So you might have a synthetic share, no fault of your own. Somebody else bought one, but you just appeared in the queue at a different point, and they'd run out of real ones by the time it got to you, so you got given an FTR. The next day, if your brokerage then says, hey, I want these FTRs replaced for FTDs, or for real shares, you'll be put back in there. Your brokerage might not bother doing that. There's, and that just kind of kicking the cans down the road. And that's the whole thing, the whole system like that. So it's an accountancy type thing. I think the short and hedge funds are in the situation more like getting caught smoking. Now they have to smoke the whole packet at once, knowing it's not going to end well. That's funny. Did you tell them to buy some GME? Geo Maxwell, I am not a cat. I don't know if they will ever realize. After GameStop, I suppose, explodes, TPTB will do everything they can to mask the wrongdoing and blame retail instead. Sure. But I mean, so what? Like, so what? Right? I mean, yeah, it's guaranteed to happen, isn't it? Pretty much guaranteed to happen. And just like any sort of thing, when somebody who's a complete fool is saying something about you which is inaccurate, you just have to ignore them. I mean, yeah, there will be kind of what you're saying is like the general population will be getting some sort of defamation against them, and that we have to have like a chunk of the general population convince another chunk of the general population that the general population wasn't to blame, it was actually the 1% all along, etc. And like, yeah, I get it, but I mean, we're at the end of the day, we all know, right, that, I mean, people will blame people, but there ain't nothing wrong with that. It's like they did the same thing like with the 2007, and you might have forgotten, but we now know it was the bank's fault. But in 2007 they said it was that, oh yeah, the banks shouldn't have been giving mortgages to all these people who really shouldn't have been applying. You know, those guys there, they didn't have the income. They couldn't afford the mortgage. You know, they were taking that on. And the banks shouldn't have given them that access to that. You know, they shouldn't have given them that, as if the banks are the ones giving the other guys the guns and they're trying to put the blame onto the people who took the mortgages who couldn't afford the mortgage. It's like, no, the house prices shot up, everything else, and there was a massive cascade and upward thing about the things, and you were giving them out, you were encouraging the mortgages, and like the banks were to blame, not the people who couldn't afford it, not the people who like lost their jobs, etc., and or whatever, and couldn't make payments, not the ones that couldn't keep up with the interest payments. No, they weren't to blame. But in 2007, they got told that they were to blame by everyone a lot, including the people out there who were then saying, "Oh no, my fees are going up, and it's because you couldn't afford a mortgage, whereas I could afford a mortgage and you couldn't, so you're making it bad for me." And no, it wasn't that. It was the banks to blame. It always was. That was always them. We know it now. And the same thing will happen. The same thing will happen. Same thing will happen. You should have sold your shares earlier. You made the economy crash. No, didn't. Didn't. It was the banks. The banks are to blame. And besides, what is this? It's just like 30, 40, 50, 60 trillion dollars, whatever, right? It's not that big a deal. I'm on live, sigh. UBI and decriminalized drugs would go a long way. Big time. There we go. Big bong, stealing's wrong. Your how to trade a breakout video is awesome, Jamie. That's very helpful to me. Thanks for making that. Yeah, it's a good video, right? It's a good video. That's I originally had a really good thumbnail as well. I think he changed it out. Sounds completely appropriate to me, King Jamie. Compassion yet action. Nice one. Yep, let's tear this shit show to the ground. Nice one. That's being in a bad spot does not grant one the right to act like an ass and rob people of their hard-earned goods, says Andy A. Absolutely. If they were nice people, I'm sure they'd have nice people helping them if they asked. Totally. Big time. They would. I shattered and snapped my hand pretty bad snowboarding, so it doesn't go too well in long punching matches. All right. Oh, yes, that's true. It doesn't. 100% down with the 1%. Can they stop this somehow? No. Aaron Pauling, trade, spotting, take up cricket. I mean, yes, they can stop it. They can buy shares. They can go to they can like go to the government and ask the government to break the Constitution. They can break the Constitution. The American people could overthrow their own government because the government broke the Constitution. Instate a new government. Put the other ones in jail. All these things can happen, you know. But they can't. I don't know, man. All you can hope is that the rules. All you can hope is that the laws, the rules, and everything that are in place, which say it can and will happen, are respected by those out there in the world. Now, will they go ahead and break it? I think that's on a constitutional level highly unlikely. I think that America is not set up for that. I think that you'd need to impeach the entire government, chuck them all in jail, all sorts of stuff. Be awful. Don't think so. Don't think it's going to happen like that. Your bro just had to fight off thieves in his home. What? Oh wait, what? Is that serious? Bing bong. All right. So they went outside when they came in through the door or something, did they? Bit of action, action, reaction. Trade spot, and they got angry, went after them. Let's just see. Right, whatever. AOL 1.5. So what happened though? You went outside and left the door open or something. People are fucked up. Rock Aircrop, can you see my super chat from 30 years ago? Oh, that's what got me distracted there. That would be the business. You peeps are effed up nowadays. I'm right here in the living room. Good lord, it's dangerous. She is lucky. Right. I heard her looking in a bag. Thought it was the cat. Went to the hall and saw the fannies. That's funny. That's terrible. She started shouting, someone's trying to rob you. He was moving towards me, so I smacked him. grabbed her arm and forced them out, kicked him on the patio, pushed the gate. They got angry. They ran away. They're lucky. Wow, that's amazing. That's mental. So I'm glad you're all right. It's a shame that you're. So that's what you're talking about. You weren't talking about certain fighting hedge funds. You were talking about actually using your hand in real life. That sucks that that happened. But that's what people be like. Hey man, what do you think about the guy Major Top Ape Andy is teaming up with? His price targets are seemingly low. Maybe FUD. Thanks, man. I don't know who he is at all. All I've heard is secondhand information from people, so I've got absolutely zero opinion on him. But I've heard a lot of people say things like say very negative things about him, and I don't know. I just like Ape Andy. I think Ape Andy's nice. I like Ape Andy. He's a good guy. I like him a lot. And I don't really judge people by who they like themselves. You know, people are free to like who they like. And I don't know who Major Tom is, so I couldn't tell you. But I mean, it's hard for me to say. I mean, because my instinct is to say, that everyone in the world is a fanny. You know, like that's just my first instinct. Is just after reading a series of messages where my brother had to physically fight people out of his own home who were trying to rob him. I'm not emotionally well placed to answer that question. I would say I don't know. I don't know him. But if you ever broke into my house, that I mean, it's like my brain is just like what keeps trying to veer off to the left. I don't know Major Tom. If I knew Major Tom, I could give you an opinion. I don't know Major Tom. I've heard that people say that the price targets are fairly low. I don't particularly care what anybody else's price targets are. I don't watch anybody else at all. So I don't really know. DMC, ha ha ha. Trace1, I'm just thankful you're okay. Yes, same. The hand needs ice though. Get on it. Who is going to start the Bing Bong Man comics? Totally. Could have been dongs flying about. Glad you're okay, Jimmy. Says 1337 Gaming. Aaron Pauling. Where's my phone at? Right, I'm all right. Sweet. Okay. Cool. Nice one. So I suppose I'll start to wrap up the stream here at this point here. If anybody... Oh, I didn't hardly look at AMC at all. Let's go check on an AMC, actually. I just have to look at MMAT. There's your buy. We talked about it. Blah, blah, blah. I can't say we didn't. It's just turned green there now. Let's hope that it goes green for the rest of the day. All that stuff. You know, we were right there talking about it at the time. Okay? It happened. I'll probably forget, but we'll be back and it happened. What was that I was going to look at? Why? Have I made this into a chart yet? MMAT chart. Yeah, I have already. Looks like I have to head over to Edinburgh at the end of August. The drinks are on me. Looks like you're going to Edinburgh. What for? Are you a performer of some sort? That's cool, man. Is it a festival type thing? Alright, I actually don't know what the chat is with the festival this year. AMC. That's what we're going to take a look at. We did it. That's cool. So my pre-market technical analysis on this one happens to have been completely sufficient for the markets since opening, which is nice. That 30 seconds that we did. Shall we do another video for this stuff? Let's do one for the crack. Let's just do one. I'll have to make do one. I have to make a couple of targets or something that makes it intelligible. Hi friends, my name's Rocky Outcrop. This is an AMC stock technical analysis video. I do this every day. This is actually during a live stream. Check that out. I've even got these intro clips. Check it out. This is the time for you to hit the like button. You really, really should. Actually, hold on. do a video like that, I need to tell people that it's good at the start. That's what everybody else does. Hi, my friends. This is the best technical analysis for AMC stock that exists on YouTube. It's totally fantastic. Hit the like button. Let's dive it. No. Can't do that either. Need to also, in the first 15 seconds, tell people what the video is going to be about. Hi friends, AMC stock rocketing up the way. This is the best technical analysis on YouTube. We're looking at the key targets that are happening in the near future. When we get past them, we're going on even higher, even better, all of that sort of stuff. We've also got targets towards the downside where there be dragons. We're going to be managing our risk if we need to along that front. By managing my risk, what do I mean? We're diamond handing this. We ain't selling nothing. Ain't nobody selling nothing. What I mean is just simply waiting for those best buy times. This is when you hit like, by the way. It's the intros. They last for just another 5 seconds or so. Hitting like now is highly recommended by like hitters around the world and all that good stuff. Whoa, okay, so here we are in the charts. There you can see it. Over there on the charts, we are aiming up at the minute towards 43 bucks. Actually, you know, $42 where the 200 simple period moving averages here on the 50-minute time frame might be a target to look to, but we'll cover that in a little bit more detail in just a second. At the minute, we're keeping our eye out for the support, which is where we had that gap fill at as well already today. Fantastically predicted that in the morning. Of course, it was fairly predictable. We've come back down. We've done numerous things, tested off with Bollinger Bands, etc. All sorts of good stuff. Everything looking pretty decent in terms of the setup when we take out $38. So that's the next first step. We actually take that out, close above it on a 15-minute basis, looking pretty good. Now, if we did drop down past this point, a tasty buy comes in again at around about $31. That would be it, though. Beyond there be dragons on the 4-hour time frame. What does all that look like? Well, taking us back up towards this region is where we actually drop down from. When we get there, we're actually aiming higher and higher and higher again. The point being with these targets, less to do with actual trading with this one for all of you out there, although I am a professional trader. I do teach people how to trade, and my entire thing is about trading, and I'm looking at these from the point of view of a trader without actually trading it myself. It's fairly bizarre, I know it is, but here we have it. And what I'm looking up to is those levels, because when we get up there, of course we start aiming up higher, we move our support up higher, we talk about how there's tasty buys, and then of course we're looking like that, and that's what we're kind of looking for to cascade towards the top side. But in the meantime, this is where we are right now, and from the broader point of view, there is of course some things that we can talk about. Overall, we are aiming for just this general region where we have that liquidity zone and that 50 simple. In terms of the support as well on this one, we're going to have to pop that down a little bit lower. In terms of the tasty buy, well, that does come in if we were to actually fill in that lower gap at that $26 area, $24 area. And then I believe there is one there. And then over here, we're looking at this is where there'll be dragons. Now, we're actually doing all right here. I do think that we'll see some positive price action, but there's no like bullish divergence to really like scream about. The MACD kind of has one, but you can see it's just mostly been down without any local highs. It's not really a massively fair thing to make an assessment of. At this point here, you can see that we are just starting to see the contraction between the positive and negative on the DM, but it's just not there right now. The most positive thing about this is that you typically do see the prices turn around at the 40 area on the 4-hour time frame, but here on the 1-hour time frame is where you start to see that positive situation come back in again, and all that story condenses down into positivity, where we see the cross of the DMI positive, while we still got the ADX in a strength of trend position. We're coming up here, testing off the neutral line, about to move back in on the RSI to make it so that we're actually in the positive area, getting out of this negativity zone again, you know, coming back in, and we can trend up positively, something that we've been looking out for quite a while over here. So these are the sorts of things that we're looking at, and everything boils back down to really what I said at the start of the video. That's been a nice explainer for you. I'm not going to drag this one out for 8 minutes or any of that sort of stuff. Just be aware, you know, like I did in the last one for a laugh yesterday. Just be aware, as I mess up the screen, that I genuinely do deeply care about the audience here. We're building an amazing thing. We're almost at 10,000 subscribers. I would love it, absolutely love it, if you were a part of that 10,000 crowd that got in here as what we're doing. It's amazing. It's amazing stuff. It's probably the best community on YouTube. Certainly the best one that I've ever been a part of, and I look forward to seeing you as a member here one time. Drop a like. See ya. There's your AMC shit for everybody. And then let's do one for GameStop, I suppose, right? Or do I bother? I'm not too sure if I can be bothered. It's the weekend. It's the weekend. And I've already nailed this bitch. Sorry. Right. So, I'm all good. No worries at all on phone now. Oh, good. Okay. Report him up. Report him up. Aaron, yes, says Kim Robbins. Woo, yes. Hell yeah, says Gober Labs. Yeah, I was here. Yeah, exactly. These are all here. That's right. That's it. These are all here. We're doing amazing stuff. We're doing amazing stuff. I'm just so incredibly happy to be a part of this community myself. Yay! I diamond handed my call and it paid off. Gumballs for everyone. Whoop 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 whoop. Great job, mate. Thanks so much, Max. Salamander, go Rocky. Merrick Sanders, Luke Spears, thank you. Well, thanks, Mom. Me? This is me. Haha. Your name is the same as my high school track long jump coach. That's cool. Great stream again, Rocky. Roll on 10k. Thanks, Dad. Brady Pearl, brother. AB Lopez. Oh, geez. Yeah, man. Rob Davis. Yes, GME. Salamander. Someone was asking for another peek at GME. Yeah, we'll be doing another peek at GME for sure. Let's just do it episode style. Why not? I don't know if I'll publish it or not. And let's just crack on and start it now. Hi, friends. I'm Rocky Outcrop. Let's start again. Hi, friends. I'm Rocky Outcrop. Best technical analysis on GameStop or anything on YouTube. I mean, whatever, but blowing smoke up my own trumpet doesn't really work too much. We're going to be taking a look at this chart in just a second or two, but I'm actually going to take a second here to delete that stuff off there. What is all of that? It was a really, really cool exploration, educational thing that we did earlier on with GameStop. Wait a minute. People don't like me talking about myself. Can't do that. But I do need to do it. Just need to do it in a way that works. Start this one again as well. Hi friends, your friendly technical analysis expert here to help you find the best entries as you diamond hand this mother of all stocks, GameStop, our favorite stonk on the planet. Is it? I don't know. AMC might be your favorite stock. I look at both. I've got a video out for that as well. We're going to be taking a look at the GameStop chart here and learning a whole load about where we could be going next and therefore where your next best buys and all that might be coming up at. But I'll actually delete all of that stuff off the chart before we take a look at it. What is all of that stuff? It was an amazing lesson earlier on as we went through talking about gaps and everything else. Fantastic. We debated stuff out. Everything great, interactive technical analysis. Swear to goodness, there's so much value in these live episodes. I couldn't even make it up. Right, so what I'm going to do is run these intro clips here. They sound good. It's nice. Yeah, you might have noticed I'm making this during a live show. Come and join me for a live show sometime. Right, and so yeah, there they were. They were pretty cool. And here's the chart again with most of those drawings gone. Now I'd still have left my paratrooper on there, right? This is where we want to see us getting behind enemy lines. I just thought I'd start off with that because of course that is what we're looking to on the charts here. And what we have is the 1 hour chart up at the minute. We can see that we've had a really nice rise up. Ultimately these two lows here looking kind of like a bit of a tweezer bottom in here for us or something along those lines with us moving up the way. And we've done fantastically well so far today, actually continuing the positive story. Now I know some people will be concerned about how the day had a little bit of a pullback at the start. That was perfectly timed for the test of both the Bollinger Bands because we moved outside of it, the moving averages on various time frames, the structural support, and the whole question of that liquidity area or the market gap. Actually, I'm bored of this episode already. The audience would be bored too. Gonna have to start it again. Hi friends, there ain't nothing better than a GameStop stock. A GameStop stock's the best stock. I love it, you love it, we love it. We're here loving it together. We're looking at the prices and we could see them going up towards highs of 182 here. We are on the 15-minute time frame, so we're not, setting anything on fire there, breaking any records. Being supported by the 50 simple moving average here. Lovely to see, testing that gap, filling that gap actually, in fact, and also doing various other things like testing off the Bollinger Bands and all sorts of good shit like that. We're loving it. We're loving it. We're loving it big time. Looking up towards those targets because if we do indeed get them, then things are changing around and we are able to start cracking towards higher and higher areas. Just drawing that story out a little bit more, we actually do need to get there to resume the positive trend of being back above the 200 simple. As you can see, the 200 simple here on the 4 hour time frame lining up with those targets there at the 190 zone. Can we do it? I believe we can. That'd be nice on the weekly to be in that region next week, at least, giving us a nice wick here, showing the rejection of the lows in at that 158 area, back currently into the 172s, doing exactly what we want to see. Anything over the next couple of weeks, we'll start to see the prices looking like they've got a local low. Boom, bada bing, bada bong. The ascending triangle sings its MF song. But where we are right now, of course, is looking at this on the 4 hour and saying this is the perfect time for it to turn it around, because we don't want to have a negative cross between those two moving averages. Now, hey, this was a moving average episode, it turned out, in the end. Didn't really plan it to be that way. Plenty of things we can talk about. There isn't a massive amount of bullish divergence right here in the 4 hour time frame to be sort of screaming our faces off about necessarily. Apart from, if you're looking at the MACD here, you can see a big chunk of it. MACD, way, coming in for the win. Thanks so much, bro. We did have this area as well in the charts of a liquidity area that needs to be kind of filled in again. Where does that come in at here? Did it happen already? Well, who knows, but it brings us up towards 195, and that's a sweet ass target for me to be looking at. There's a whole host of reasons about why you can be positive right now. There truly are, and one of the ones we talked about yesterday was the TD sequential. It's had a 9. Everything else has worked out perfectly. We've even come in for a 9 as well on the 4 hour time frame as we speculated yesterday. That's perfect. Everything tying together super well, setting us up for a nice end of the day, end of the week. Yes, it's been a red week. Big rejection on that wick, all coming in here towards the end of the week. All we really need to do over the period of the next few weeks, indeed, really, is actually, to be perfectly frank with you, maintain prices above $50, and then, of course, $150. And we're doing that. We're doing that at the minute. Everything's absolutely fantastic and looking exceedingly bullish, really, over here. There's something that was worth pointing out in the final seconds, the dying embers of this, is that if we do start to see prices turn around, this is the weekly time frame. This is going to be hidden bullish divergence, and we will get that when we take out the price targets at about $205, etc. That is perfect. That's where that max pain is. The max pain will truly be felt by a lot of people as well if we go up towards that area. Not us, the diamond-handed apes, but of course the fools who don't see this on the charts as we stand right now. Supported by the neutral line on the RSI, hidden bullish divergence across the board on that one. Yes, lovely. Let's hope for that. Hope for the best. I'll see you in another episode sometime. Oh wait, shit! I've not tuned out yet. I'm back. This is a really cool place to be. Building the best community on the internet by a million miles. I have a massive, deep appreciation for everybody that subscribes. I do have a Discord. Until there's 10,000 YouTube members, it's free to join the Discord. Hook me up by email. It's on my channel about page, or on Twitter, Rocky_Outcrop. Be a part of what we're doing here. It's truly special. It actually enhances your life. Okay? It's true. I'll see you next time. There we go. Right. Jen Campbell, ha 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 ha. I will always be haunted by that famous photo of a piece of bread with a piece of craft. I don't know why my thing. Oh, there we have it. Rocky Outcrop. I don't have to go to uni college because you're doing this. Thank you for my deepest chasm. Marek Sanders, that's quality. Yeah. Really appreciate it. Kim Robbins, thank you so much, Rock Outcrop. I appreciate you so much. You're a legend. Kim, that's so nice of you. Thank you. Same here, Katie of Charka. This crowd is more my style. I'm too old for complete nonsense. And staying smooth-brained is stupid long-term. Why not learn now how to trade with TA? Jen, absolutely. And it's a skill for life. Even if you just use it for entertainment or if you use it for anything else. I mean, you're looking at the charts during the world pandemic, and I'm looking at them going, man, this we're in for a bounce. Yeah, so it's good for anything. Give me a chart, I can chart it. You're my hero. Mudson, you're my hero. You're my hero. Grace Foundation, is it better to join the Patreon or the channel? Better to join the Patreon overall if you're going to. I mean, that's cool. There are all ways of supporting the channel. I really do appreciate what YouTube does for me by giving me this platform to do this on and whatever else. But the Patreon thing has got less fees and stuff like that. And so that's cool. Less fees for me, but I've got higher prices over there. It's just for people who want to be generous. The YouTube membership thing, that's for people who want to have a colour and a glass of beer beside their name and to be generous in that way, And there's ways of people to be generous in various different ways, and And that's what we're doing here. How do I get Discord? Send me an email, send me a link, send me an email or a tweet. I'll get it to you. No problem, man. I'll give you a link or whatever. I'll just try it. Diamond Ring, TradeSpot and Diamond Ring, wait a minute, what's going on? A little bit of enhancement sounds good to me. If you're not marrying me, then you shouldn't even be getting married. I see. So we've got a wedding ring proposal in there. Don't remember, be kind, be the hero, be your own hero. Get up, take a look in that mirror. Who's that? Who's that that's looking back at you? I tell you what, it's your best ally. All right? Do that. Look in the mirror, find your best ally, and together go out there and change the world. Okay, you are some man for one man, Rocky. Love you too. All boys, I'm afraid. Patreon. Woo! Jimmy, what time are you on tonight? Salamander, chatting there. Gaston, yeah, cool. How do we join Patreon? There's a link there. It's pinned at the top of the chit chat box. Thanks for that, by the way. That's really nice of you. Will do, Katie. If she's my wife, she'll need a few. Yeah, look, I just really massively appreciate it. When I read stuff like that, I just feel like that's just so amazing. So it fills me up with joy. Dragon Slayer, Rocky Aircraft, thank you for the stream. Have a nice weekend and see you on Monday. You're welcome. I really appreciate it. Abikadarian Camper, I really do like your name. Thanks for your comments on the videos yesterday as well, by the way, buddy. Thanks to all of you. I mean, I'm reading your names in there, and I saw them all in the comments yesterday, and I love it. Yesterday was my best day for comments. Let me know if your wife needs a girlfriend. Trade spotting, says Katie Babes. Katie Babes is good for that. Richard Burke, you and Trade spotting are the best. Thank you so much. Sensory Hoax, have a good weekend. Thanks, man. Thanks, Richard Burke. Yeah, great, cool. So we're wrapping up here, and everything feels natural coming towards the end. Now there is time. There is time. If anybody wants me to take a look at any given stock or stonk or crypto. Oh fuck, I didn't do crypto. Oh yeah, right. If anybody wants me to take a look at anything, just drop me a quick message. Hi friends, I've done cryptocurrency lessons for a very... No. Hi friends, cryptocurrency, amazing things going on. My community has made so much money from trading cryptocurrency. It is unreal. It's actually transforming the world and transforming people around. That ambulance that's going out outside is going off outside because right now it wants you to know just how amazing this community is for crypto technical analysis. But I've got an announcement to make, and that is that unless you actually hit the like button on this video and come back and watch it, I don't know how many more of them I'll be bothered making. To be perfectly honest with you, because I've got an amazing thing going on with a community full of people that like trading stocks as well. Now, personally, I've been a professional trader for a very long time. You could say that I've been a professional trader every single day for the last 5 years, and I have. But also, as well, I've been here talking with people on the YouTubes for the last year and a half, and as well, I've been trading and learning to trade for over a decade. And I worked at an investment bank back in the day. I've done lots of stuff, professional experience, got a master's degree, tons of stuff like that, loads. I've basically worked my entire life for this moment, and the value that I've delivered to people has been absolutely phenomenal and incredible. It blows everything else I've ever seen out of the water. Nevertheless, this may end up being one of the last cryptocurrency videos sections during my live stream that I bother making for quite a while. Frankly, nobody really turns up asking for me to take a look at them. That's totally fine. I do make these clips, but also, you know, the biggest issue for me would be just for a few people that I could actually name. I could name a list of, well, not a few, but 100 or 200 people who watch my videos on a daily basis for cryptocurrency, and they get that value. And to you directly, I would take this moment to just say, I would be very sorry if I didn't do that anymore, but of course, it's extremely bad value time-wise for me to do that, and you have to kind of see that yourself when you look at the channel, you know. Nobody new watches those videos, and I know that you watch them every day, and I know that it helps a lot. Moving on, right? So we're going to take a look at a few cryptocurrencies right here, right now. For example, you know, I want to say, for example, that I've made for people in the Tezos land probably over $5 million easily, and that's a really small cryptocurrency where very small amount of my audience has come from. But I would know from that and talking to people, I've made at least that much money for people from talking about it, at least, and probably to a factor of 10 that I'm out by that. Anyway, I've been awarded, in terms of the various kind generous souls of people who've turned up and done super chats and stuff like that. Wow, you guys, amazing. This isn't me talking to you. But I've been rewarded by the general Tezos community with one award for their community award after having done it for over a year dedicated as the only person on YouTube who does dedicated Tezos analysis, who's exclusively spoken positive things about them, and only once has by my name been nominated for the Tezos Community Awards. And the time it happened, I asked for it to happen, and you know what? It was given straight away because everybody knows I deserve it, and I'm very, 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 very well known in the Tezos community. So, you know, you're voting with there you go. So Tezos, and it's the same. Bitcoin, they don't even have a community to vote people to give them awards. You know, they don't even have that. They ain't getting nothing from the Bitcoin community, nothing, right? Apart from the ones, you know, yourselves and you're appreciated, right? So what's the point? What's the point? It damages my channel. So your technical analysis is coming up for you right now. Let me just do it real quick. Yeah, same as yesterday. Nothing's changed. Told you all about it then. If you didn't watch it then, you missed out. You're a fool. But there you have it. Here's the next one. Link USDT. Link Marines. Hoo-ha. To my Link Marines. Yep, same stuff as what I talked about yesterday. You can watch the video from that then. XTZ USDT. Yep, same as what I spoke about yesterday. I mean, I told everybody what was happening, and it's just happening in front of your eyes. It's very, very clear. Ethereum versus USDT. Yeah, oh, a little bit different there. Whoa, yeah, a little bit. Not that much, though. Not really that much. I mean, it's essentially the same technical analysis. Anyway, sorry, I spent all my time giving you the details about what's going on the channel, and that's your analysis. Thanks so much. Catch you next time. You know what to do. I'm not joking, by the way. I'm not joking. I'm not joking. And I'll just run my intro clips here at the end, and you'll see it says crypto technical analysis on it. I'm going to have to get these remade. Like, do you understand what I'm saying? I'm not joking, and it's not. And I know the value that I've put out there is insane. Okay, so convince me otherwise. Rocky Outcrop, crypto technical analysis. Well, actually, it's more like stocks. See you next time. That's actually my crypto technical analysis episode there, by the way. That's actually what I'm going to publish on YouTube. Is it incredibly passive aggressive? No, it's straight up regular aggressive. So there you have it. Jen, wow, that's so much. No specific request, but have a pint on me this weekend. Love you, man. Fantastic. Cool. I'm going to hire Anonymous to find those robbers somehow. Then I'm going to put soda on their hands so they're all sticky and not give them any water to wash their hands with. Oh, man. Oh, you would do that to the... That is mean. That is mean. That is mean. I had that the other day, that same experience. And I sat here for 5 minutes going, that's annoying. And then I went up and I washed my hands. It wasn't 5 minutes. It was like 30 seconds. Well, look what happened is I spilled a little bit of juice in myself and I licked it off my hand. And I thought it was clean, but there was still a drop of juice on there. I hadn't noticed it. Then it dried and it went sticky. Oh, it was awful. Right, sound. Anyway, much love, everybody. Oh, I'm just tuning out and somebody taught me a donation. Whoa. Oh, Rocky, you fool. Sally Mander, thanks for the learns. Have a super weekend. 943 subs I'm seeing. Oh my jeez. Oh my jeez. Up another 100. Up another 100. Up another... It's up... Holy smokes. Look, we're doing it. Something special's happening here, ladies and gentlemen. Something special is happening here. And do you know what it is? It's all of you. It's all of you. There's a natural filter that's going on somehow, and every single person that comes along into this world is a really genuinely, amazingly top-notch, great person, and it's fantastic. It's absolutely fantastic. Thank you so much. You're the best. Whatever's going on here is amazing. It's wonderful. And I'm enjoying every single last moment of it. Thank you so much, Sally Mander. You are quality, my friend. My friend. Right. I'm going to hit the Cheerio button now, by the way. But, oh, no, shit, I'm not. I'm going to bring up the credits. I was about to do it, but now I'm going to bring up the credits. And then I'm going to do it. And I'm just dead happy that you are all here. Thanks so much. It's been another great week, hasn't it? Another great... I mean, I know not for price action for us personally, right? But it's been another great week full of like super, super, super good, friendly community chats. Frickin' yes. It's frickin' yes is what it is. It's frickin' yes. All of it. is a big yes. Thank you to my new members here. Summer Day, Ix, Smug Slug, L4G Custom Fabrication, Wazim Nabi. I know a couple of these, one of these might have been already and upgraded or something like that. I'm not too sure how that one works. I don't know. Thank you so much for Stally for the donation. Stally, that was cool. That was a buck. Thank you so much for that. It was cool. We talked about MMAT after that one, right? It's not about the things. It's about helping people and all the rest of it. We talked about MMAT about that one, right? And then at the end of it, he gave me $3 as well, 300% more. Because of the analysis. That's what he thought. It was that good. He gave me 300. I'm just kidding about the numbers, by the way. But it's so nice because I was thinking that as it happened, that I'm doing this. I don't care. It's a buck. I'm here to help people. And then you give me $3 afterwards. Thought that's 3 times as much. You know, I must have helped. I've done something that's good, and it just is like, wow, I've done something good. Thank you so much. Thank you so much to Jen Campbell. No specific request. Thanks Sally Mander. Thanks for the learns. Brian Millen. Thanks for another great week, Rocky. Brian, thank you for another great week. Thank you so much. Daniel Lesage, JT858, Daniel Groves, LG4 Custom Things, Mine and Boom, Zach Putansky, Forrest, Kim, Jen. Thank you so much. I didn't read those names very well. But you are amazing. Amazing people. Amazing people. Reverse roll call, Der Bomb, The Tree. Thank you. Finesse Finance. Thank you. I'm Not a Cat. Great to see you here. Have a fantastic weekend. Rob, amazing weekend. Who's that there? Samit Akgul. Man, that's amazing. Thank you so much. Love you for saying that. The community is amazing. Brian, thank you. Dan, DMC, Apple Blossom, Aaron, Adameld, Sasha, Kim, Katie, I'm Not a Cat, Daniel, Brady, Harry, Sensory Hoax, Harriet, Sal, Abecadarian Camper, Chili's, TriStar, Luke, all of yous, 1337. Yes, Tracy, everybody. Mwah. Wonderful. Thank you so much for tuning in. Have a fantastic weekend. I'll be back again on Monday, maybe even over the weekend. Maybe I come back at market close. I don't know. See, you can find out, though, by chatting to me in the Discord. Hook me up by email if you want a link. Hook me up on Twitter, Rocky_Outcrop, or indeed ask repeatedly in the YouTube comments, and I'll just give you one. If we're talking to each other within 5 minutes or so of each other, I'll give you one. Yeah, I'm being really exclusive with the Discord links. Yeah, I am. That's happening. It's happening. It's happening. Yeah, I'm being exclusive. It's actually a really great place to be. Mwah! Much love.